Earlier today, our staff had gotten together for a potluck, and we were talking about the Me Too campaign and how the big question is it the beginning, or is it the middle, or is it the end? And we don't know.
But we have a serious problem, and for them to say, oh, wait a minute, the real problem was this make-believe that there was no rights to the accused is simply not true. And to wipe it away and say we're not going to deal with this, they can't change the law. This is the law of the land. This is a way to implement it, but also it's a problem.
No, my job as a Title IX coordinator, director of Title IX compliance was the most difficult job I've ever had. Yeah, so my name is Annie Carrick, and I'm Associate General Counsel here at Boise State, and I've been in that position for a year. So I'm a lawyer for the university, right? So Title IX fundamentally is a federal law that simply says that educational institutions receiving federal funding can't discriminate on the basis of sex. And that's been interpreted by federal regulations and courts to mean something much broader than that 35 words or 37 words that it actually is. So when I got to Boise State, I wanted to make sure that people knew about my position and what I did. So a lot of kind of my first year here was spent trying to figure out how to make sure people knew I was on campus. I just think that we all need to take a real step back and look at the power structures that are in place that have allowed this to happen and continue to happen and stay hidden. Because if those structures weren't in place, behaviors would have been stopped immediately, but they are. There's reasons why people don't report. There's reasons why people continue to get away with this person after person after person.
I'm at the point where I'm like, this is going to affect me for the rest of my life. Like, I think that it should affect him for the rest of his. My name is Sarah Pierce, and I go to Shoe Renaissance, and I'm in 11th grade. If you've drank this much, or like if you've drank at all, and like the other person has not drank, then it's not consensual. Don't have sex when like the other person's drunk and you're sober. I talked to my friend on the phone the other day, and he was like, yeah, I don't get why girls like don't just come forward. You know, like they're going to victimize people in the future, and you're basically like victimizing those people yourself, which first of all isn't true. Like, that's bullshit. It can be really hard to come forward, and like because there is a lot of victim blaming in our society.
So my name's Kelly Miller. I'm the Executive Director of the Idaho Coalition Against Sexual and Domestic Violence. I think similar to colleges, I think high school should really embrace a really proactive stance around Title IX and not wait until a situation happens where an individual who's been sexually assaulted or raped has to go to the school vice principal or counselor just to say, this is what happened to me and I don't know what to do. Students should really be aware that there is a Title IX coordinator in their school. Idaho female high school students in the 12th grade, I think it was 21% said that they actually had been forced to have sexual intercourse, which is rape. And the national average is 14%.
Hi, I'm Colette Raptosh. I'm a senior at Capitol High School. I'm 17 years old. I think this topic's really important because every student should have resources at their high school where they can get help and go to, and they should have a system that they're walked through when they do report a sexual assault crime. And I think it's really important that they're advertised at high schools, and I think that's the main point, is that I never knew that there were these things available in my junior high or even primary schools, and not even my high school, and so I think that's really important.
Hi, my name is Regan Prado. I'm a senior at Capitol High School. I'm personally passionate about it because I've been through sexual assault, not on campus but off campus, and I want everybody to know that they're not alone and that there's resources and different things that you can talk about, because I didn't know that I had that back when it happened. This happened when I was 6 years old, and it went on for about 3.5 years. It's a little rough, but I'm just glad that these days, if we bring awareness to it, that even in elementary school there's something for people to talk to, as well as junior highs and high schools and colleges, for everybody, like a resource for people to go to, whether it's like to go to the police or not to go to the police. So I think that that's really important.
Hi, my name is Fantasy Vise, and I'm a senior at Capitol High School, and today our team took an inside look on sexual assault on campus and off campus, and also regarding Title IX. So how this relates us with the Constitution is the fact that the Fourth Amendment brings right to privacy and right to freedom, whether that's through schools or whether that's through officials or just someone that you know. You obviously have a right to your body, and that's your own privacy. And in schools, we just want to connect the fact that we are ensuring a place and a safe space for people to go to tell their experiences, whether that's on campus or just in your school or to your peers.
So that can be discouraging, but I have to say overall, even knowing all that is really powerful. Understanding that we really have to become a much different society and thinking about what does transformative justice look like? How do we actually repair harm that people experience and at the same time have community accountability, but we don't throw anyone away, because we also have to take into account we have a high rate that's totally unacceptable of incarceration of young men, particularly young men of color, and then how can we really reverse that scenario and really come up with different ways of community accountability. The other place that gives me a great deal of hope are actually younger generations. I feel like younger folks are so much more accepting and tolerant, particularly when you think of gender, in terms of gender fluidity and not being so rigid on gender roles. And the rigid gender roles are at least one of the aspects of how we think about femininity and masculinity, and how it can really have unhealthy models of masculinity and really devalue what's feminine. And I feel like the younger generation coming up now has a much more whole sense of gender, and understanding that regardless of who you are and the body that you're born in, you can be and you should be whoever you believe yourself to be.